Hey, onesies, Josh Williams here, and thanks for checking out this week's episode of the One Man Podcast. It's always free and available on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Music, and many more, as well as on the web at onemanpodcast.com. So please, whatever platform you're listening on, like and subscribe. While you're at it, give it a rating, leave a review. Why? Because it helps the podcast, and I'd really appreciate it. How about that? What about social media? Search One Man Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube to keep up with what's going on there. Get a little extra content for yourself. And finally, to get in touch, please send your emails to contact@onemanpodcast.com. You send it, I read it on the podcast. That's the deal. Thanks for listening, guys, and I hope you enjoy this week's episode.
What's up, everybody? This is DJ Demers.
I'm K. Trevor Wilson.
Hey, it's Krista Allen.
Hi, this is Rick Mercier.
What's up, guys? This is Paul Verzi, and you are listening to the One Man Podcast. Yeah!
My name is Josh Williams, and welcome to the One Man Podcast, episode number 184 for Wednesday, November 18th, 2020. How's it going, onesies? Are you guys doing good? Did you have a good week? Everything fun and exciting in your world? Are you guys out there deciding what votes count and what votes didn't count on behalf of our neighbors to the south, right? Because all of us armchair experts reading what the internet says, there's no lies on the internet, right? And the one page you visited that already corroborated your story, that's the right one. I'm just kidding. I've been talking to all sorts of people who've got the inside scoop for me, which is hilarious. And I've had some people happy about my stupid rants on last week's episode. But today, I got my good buddy Paul Myrehaug is with me. He's the headliner here in Ottawa. We just worked together in Kingston. We watched the election craziness together in our jammy jams.
Yeah, comfortable pants for 5 days. We had ABC on.
Yep. And we were just watching everything, which was hysterical. And we get to that point where we were like, oh, I guess we have to get ready for work soon.
Oh yeah. Real life.
Which to think of stand-up comedy as like the real life part. It's like, oh, I got to go work.
Oh man. That's where we earn our money, is the 3 hours before a show when you're just in sheer panic. Like there's some comics that think they're going to do well every night. And I'm not one of those. Like I in my mind, I am going to die a horrific death. 20 years for 3 hours before the show thinking like, God, they're going to figure out the trick, man. You're fucked.
Yeah.
You're fucked. You're not going to do well. And it's horrible stress and in your pajamas.
Yeah. And they feel like, to me, it's always been that one sentence where like, you're a fraud.
Yeah.
And tonight we figured it out as a collective. This guy's full of shit. He's not the real deal.
Yeah. This isn't him. He's not being himself.
Yeah. No, you're not funny, buddy. And we know it.
Yeah.
Time to quit. Yeah. Every show. And you went through the same thing the week that we worked together that I went through literally the week before, which was haven't done a headline set since quarantine or the pandemic started or whatever. You had an infinitely better first show than I did.
You keep on saying that, but no, you're one of those.
You had to see it. You had to see it. Like I can wear it completely comfortable. Sometimes I'm like, everyone said that was good. I said, not so much. Yeah.
You're one of those guys though that always says, "Oh, it didn't really do well," and then meanwhile you killed every time. You're one of those comics.
You're one of those guys that's blowing smoke up my ass right now. I think I do okay. I do my job. Yeah. All right. I'm also a big fan of yours. I've talked you up to everybody. So at the same time, I watch guys like you and I'm like, that's what you're supposed to do right there. Yeah. Go on stage. Haven't done it in 8 months. All right, here we go. First joke. Okay, we did it.
All right.
We did it.
All right.
You're like your own hype man, and it works. It gets everyone. Whereas I'm just like, I'm supposed to pretend like it's funny, and they're all like, "What's happening?" I'm like, "They're onto me. They're onto me."
Well, I had to tell the audience like we're all in the same ship here, and it might sink. So fucking let's lower our expectations. I had my book. You're doing 45 minutes for the first time, and so I had my cheat sheet with me, and it was a terrifying experience, very terrifying.
But it went great. So by the end of the week, you were like, I'm fine.
Yeah, then, I think that first night I definitely forgot where jokes went, and I forgot, I need to do that joke before this joke because there's a little bit of a callback or whatever. All that nonsense was out the window.
And you lost your fucking voice.
I lost my voice.
You lost your voice the first show. Yeah. I don't think I've done that much screaming in a long time. So we end up leaving the club early to go find like honey lozenges and things like that at a Walmart.
Yeah. Ginger tea. Yeah. You're right. But that shows that I have a good relationship at home. For 8 months, I wasn't yelling. So that's nice. That's a testament.
You did it once. There you go. You did it once and you lost your voice. Not like, a week straight of yelling. Like we haven't had any big fights. We've had a couple one-offs. Zero. Yeah. Had you had one fight, you would have lost your voice. And you're like, listen, I can't.
And it was a horrible moment for me too, because I realized I'm like, wait a minute, I'm one of those yelly hacks, you know? Because I hadn't yelled, and I'm like, I scream through my act, like, you guys are gonna find this funny. Like it's fucking. I'm like, oh my god.
Would you suggest the occasional domestic dispute just to keep a comic?
I should.
Just to keep his throat. You know, that's the workout.
Yeah, and my better half is a fiery Mediterranean girl, so I should be in yelling matches, but I'm still like a beta fucking Norwegian. So when her family and her are fighting, I'm sitting at the table like dead quiet, like, oh my god, this is really scary. I don't like it.
You don't try to mediate?
And no, hell no. You don't jump into a Mediterranean box fire. No fucking way. No chance. I just sit there with my eyes down, like, oh my god, this is terrifying.
Are you the tallest one too at the table?
Oh yeah, by far.
That's so funny. The storm giant has got his head down.
Yeah,
yeah. I'm not kidding.
No, Norwegians don't roll that way.
The rule is we do not interfere with the quarrels of men. just the way Zeus has spoken.
Yeah. Terrifying.
Yeah. Well, that's funny. I think, it's just to lose your one time. Yeah, maybe that's the good side of domestic disputes. Just say, maybe I want to be a comedian one day and I don't want to.
Yeah.
I get to get your reps in, basically what it is.
Exactly. It's a bit of yelling.
Right now and again. Or you just get in a conversation with Jay, in which case you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That guy's voice never blows out because he's just got it on 10 all the time.
Yeah, and he's not yelly. He just he can just go. He's just one of those guys. And so are you. You can just go too. Like you can just talk. I find that skill unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Really?
You just can't like
whether I have something to say or not.
I can't fucking do a radio show. You guys can just go. Like you can just like go and then give me a time and I'll fill the space, and I just can't do it.
You know why?
What?
Because you're a secure person. That's why. That's why you're you don't have to talk all the time. I'm just like, because I don't like silence. Silence is where the insecurity breeds. So it's like the constantly spraying the extinguisher on the flames. You take a break, it gives a chance for the fire to start up again. So just spraying it constantly.
It's again Scandinavian heritage. That's all it is you get used to silence very quick. Christmas dinner's just like snow, yeah, and then followed by 40 seconds of silence.
Until someone else thinks of another subject. Yeah. You guys are just looking for confirmations, basically.
Yeah.
Do you agree to the terms and conditions? Today snow's cold. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
And that's it. Just quiet.
And that's it. Yeah. A lot of
Oh no, like dude, when people are quiet, I get so insecure.
Really?
Well, because when people are talking, I can get the tone, the cadence. I can get an idea of where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I don't like emailing. I think we talked about this. I don't, well, reading and writing, whatever, that's one thing, but I just mean, I don't like emailing because emailing is cold. There's no tone in it, right? You know how they say like, what is it? 60 to 70% of communication is nonverbal. Right. So to just have the text, no tone, no body language, no eye contact. You don't even get that on the phone, but I'm just saying like, it's so impersonal. So for me, I'm like, I don't like emailing because I'm like, especially if I'm doing like a proposal or something, it's like, to me, my immediate go-to is it gives them way more time to say no.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you're talking to someone on the phone, you can still tell no, but you can, as you're presenting what you're doing, you can hear their level of interest, or even conversationally. Like if they're breaking eye contact and look, okay, I don't have your attention, I got to switch it up or whatever.
Right.
But email is like, they can just take 2 weeks to find a very polite way to say, I'm not interested. I hate it. I hate it.
16 drafts. Like,
well, that's exactly it, right? It's like, I took all this time to write it out. That's the thing. It takes me more time. You know, I can't, produce my level of excitement in a thing like sales pitches. That's why you got to have a dude there. It's not like you can't just have a big banner with all the written presentation on it. It's more fun to have a dude who's excited and whatnot. Like imagine reading the ShamWow presentation without that Vince guy doing it.
Oh, it'd be horrible. Yeah.
I don't know.
Just get a cloth, cut up a t-shirt, dumb fuck. You know, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. That was the what do they call it? The tagline or whatever at the top of it. It's a fucking t-shirt. Cut it up, wipe it down.
I got one of my buddies. He's a comedian, but also like a presenter or promoter. And he has an email signature that says, have a great day, you know, at the end of every one of his emails. But he's a man that is in constant conflict with, like, you know, theater owners and radio stations and stuff like that. And it constantly gets him in trouble because he'll send like a really snarky email, like, and then at the end it just says, have a nice day with an exclamation point.
Yeah. And it just feels like such a fucking, have a great one.
Yeah.
Buddy.
You fucking patronizing asshole.
Yeah, exactly. No, and that's what I'm saying is like, but it's like that with silences. For me, even just silence, someone's sitting there and they're, I immediately assume I've said something, or because with no feedback, it's just kind of like, and then the more talking, because I'm like, I better fix what I just did. That's how it works for me. Silence makes me so uncomfortable.
We must have hated our week together in Kingston in the house with a Scandinavian guy that's just constantly silent.
But you're very positive. I did get insecure though, because I was just like, because I'd be like, hey, want to come? Yeah, it's good stuff. Like, I really enjoy it. Like, that was just me being excited. You're like, oh, no, it's great. And I'm like, he doesn't mean that.
No, man. What, an espresso? I loved it.
But I just mean whatever it would be. You're like, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Oh, man, yeah, no, for sure. That's great. I'm like the 4-year-old, like, great picture, Billy. I'm going to put it on the fridge. I'm like, he's either the sweetest person ever, or he's just like, yeah, great. Let this be over. Stop. So I was like, okay, guess I was too excited about whatever it was.
No, I am extremely positive. I really am.
And I believe that. There's just that nagging insecurity in the back of my mind always. And I'm just like, you're just talking much. They just want to be left alone. He's only told you 6 times that he's got a blown eardrum or whatever. I just need 1 hour to myself for it to crust over so that it can scab up and heal. Just give me 10 minutes. I love it. You're like, you and Jay, you guys have that gift where you can just talk and talk. I'm like, that cuts me so deep.
Well, it's a positive thing. It's a great skill. It's an amazing skill.
It's probably a grass is greener thing. So but that's why I say, I think that the quiet is a security place. You're like, I don't feel the need to. Take it and do with it whatever you will.
And that eardrum thing's true. Twice I burst my eardrum. Once in a fist fight when I was 16 years old. I got hit in the eardrum and it popped it.
Hit in the eardrum?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's impossible. Tiny hands.
Thinking he's got a fucking 1-inch spike like RoboCop on the end of a ring, punches you, goes right, boom.
Or like somebody missing an arm with a hook.
Exactly.
I punched
hooks you on this.
a war vet. I punched a war vet. His name was Tyler Munson, actually. Broke my eardrum. And the second one was scuba diving in Thailand.
Too deep? The bends or whatever?
Yeah. So because of the first perforation, I have to wear like ear blocker when I go diving. And the cord for the blocker wrapped around my tank and it pulled it out at the bottom depth. And then all that pressure hit it at once and it burst again.
So you've perforated your eardrum?
Yes. Twice.
And you can still hear it of it?
Yeah, it's less, but and it constantly, like I was telling you right now, I have an ear infection. There's just constant ear infections, and I hear less out of that one for sure. But
I thought when the what do I know? But I thought when the eardrum was like burst, it's like that's it, it's done. You're deaf in that ear.
Yeah, if it completely ruptures for sure, but these are just perforations, so holes in it. And it was really funny because the first time it happened after the fight, I came home and I was like, Mom, hold your hand up. And I put her hand up by my ear and I plugged my nose and my other ear and I pushed and air would come through it. And she was like, we're going to the fucking hospital. Unbelievable. And then I was like, doctor, look at this. And I put your hand up.
So he could feel air blowing.
Yeah, I could blow air out of it. And then the doctor's like, first things first, no more party tricks.
No more party tricks. That could have been your closer.
Yeah.
I want a member of the audience, a volunteer.
Yeah.
It would have been funnier if you like filled your mouth with like tomato juice or something, spray red all over their head. You could have been like the new Gallagher, just making a mess on stage, blowing shit out your ear.
I'm permanently deaf.
But I can feel the applause.
Yes.
Wow. What was the fight over?
We were working at Taco Time. We were both employees at Taco Time, and I had seniority over him, even though we were both young. And it was just like, boys will be boys, just a wrestling match that got out of control.
Oh, okay.
And I put, I actually kind of deserved it a little bit. I took his clothes and I put it in water, in the dishwater, and then I threw him against the back of the freezer. So all his clothes were frozen.
It was horseplay, premeditated.
He was mad, man. He was so mad.
So just you guys. So this is pre-fight. You took all of his clothes.
Yeah.
You shoved them in the water.
And
you threw them in
threw
the
it
freezer
thing.
so they'd be rock hard at the end of his shift.
Yeah.
And he retaliated.
Yeah, and punched me in the ear, and then my eardrum burst. And he's a great guy. We still follow each other on social media. He's a guitarist now, great fella. But yeah, so I guess I deserve that one. I froze his.
They're like, I was just horseplay at work. Well, in retrospect, totally fucked with him. So he went home in his uniform.
Yeah.
Frozen clothing.
Frozen clothes.
It would have been funnier if he was like, oh, you should put your ice on your ear, and he gave you his clothes to hold on your We don't have any frozen peas, but...
Yeah. Here, why don't you try my fucking flannel shirt?
In dishwater, too.
Oh, yeah.
So fucking gross.
Gross. Yeah.
Hilarious.
Very fun. It was
It's
good.
so funny. Whenever people try to pull practical jokes on me, or like I was going to pull a joke on you, I'm like, you have no idea the Rolodex of people that I could call to get back at you.
Yeah.
You don't want people with nothing but spare time and a fucking prankster mentality to try to get back on you. Yeah, you don't poke that bear.
No, definitely. And not with your listeners either. Your onesies, you can you have a whole crowd to sick them on,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dial this number, make, all that stuff's great. That's
Oh, yeah.
good fun.
I've had people be like, oh, I want to try to get at somebody. I have an idea for, do you have any suggestions? I'm like, of course there's suggestions. That's hilarious. So I was going to see if there's anything here on this list that my listeners would be more interested in than these stories. I doubt it. I did go deal with a bunch of garbage for my sleep apnea machine.
Your CPAP.
I'm a CPAP.
Which you didn't bring on the road.
It's actually a BiPAP machine, which is like more so because apparently, shockingly enough, this guy who never shuts up has a deeper lung capacity than most.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Apparently I got quite the set of pipes on me.
Yeah, you do about 5 paragraphs per breath. You're a killer whale of conversation.
Do they have deeper lung? Oh, look. There we go. How about that? There
I got to snort.
Yeah, I've actually been doing that a lot more lately when I laugh as I just breathe in. I think it's the fucked up sinuses.
And you did not bring your CPAP to Kingston. So, yeah, and I couldn't hear you. There was a wall. I could actually hear the bed squeaking more.
Yeah, but you have a punctured eardrum.
Yeah, that's true. I am an old man.
You're lucky. Maybe that's what saved it. I had to basically... So I went through this big, long 6 months process of trying to get a new machine. I don't need a new machine.
Yeah.
On the record. I don't need one, but the people I called for like some CPAP supplies were like, oh, you're eligible for a new machine. So call your doctor, then your doctor will refer you to a sleep doctor who will give you a prescription that you can bring back to us. And then we'll order you a machine, blah, 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 blah. And I was supposed to go to that. I was supposed to pick up the machine on the morning of one day. And that afternoon I had an appointment with the sleep doctor to like talk to him or whatever.
Okay.
And it's basically a stupid system where I can only imagine if a senior citizen or something had to deal with it, how frustrating it would be for them. But they called me 2 days before the sleep clinic people for my sleep doctor appointment. And they were like, hey, just want to confirm your appointment. I said, yeah, my appointment is, whatever. I'm good for the appointment, but just a heads up, I'm actually picking the machine up that morning. Because I remember the first time I got a CPAP machine, I had to get the machine. I had to take it home. I had to use it for a while. There's like an SD card in it that collects the data from the sleep.
Right.
And then you give that to the sleep doctor. He looks it over and goes, okay, the machine's working. And then he signs off on the subsidy, right? For the Ontario government. Signs off on it. Yes, he needs it. There you go. And subsidized. So I wasn't sure if they had to do the same thing again. So I was just trying to be a good person saying, hey, just by the way, I'm picking up the machine in the morning. Yeah. So my sleep appointment, I'm not even gonna have any data for him. I'm not gonna have one sleep for him to see with this new machine. And the woman on the phone was like, oh, okay, well, we'll definitely need to reschedule you then. So we'll schedule you in January. And I was like, okay, great. Right. All this makes sense so far. I'm like, we'll give him the data with the new machine or whatever. Well, the sleep people call me 20 minutes before my appointment and say, hey, don't bother coming in. The doctor won't sign off on it. Oh. And I go, why not? They're like, well, because he hasn't seen you. I'm like, well, what the hell did he told me to go get a machine from you guys, right? Go get the machine and then I'd see him afterwards. So what the fuck is all this about? So turns out that he just needs to like talk to me and say, hey, is everything cool? I'm like, anyways, it ended up being this giant thing where I have an appointment with him and then I go back and get the machine. So basically he gave me the wrong order. And this woman who I spoke to that day shouldn't have canceled my appointment and made it 3 months later. She should have just said, no, go to your thing, pick up the machine, or wait to see us and then go pick up your machine the next day. Anyways, it ended up being like a 3-month delay. I'd already waited like 6 months to get to this point, but she made a mistake. She should have said, oh, is this your first machine? Or we see here, you're already a client who's had one or something like that. Anyways, long story short, I had to do all the digging. I can only imagine if a senior citizen was like,
they'd be screwed.
No, they wouldn't know what to do. They would be in a limbo where it's like, go get the machine, which is what's said by the sleep doctor. And then the sleep place was like, no, go to your doctor and get him to sign off on it. It's like, well, both people are saying wait for the other.
Right.
So anyways, that was a giant pain in the ass. It was like my entire morning calling places to make appointments. And they were like, you need to get him the SD card before he'll sign off. I gave them the SD card. They're like, oh, he already has the information. He needs to see you first. I go, look, I already spent half an hour on the phone with you.
Yeah.
You told me he needed the data. Now you're saying he needs to see me. I go, so before I call them back and do it again, tell me exactly what you need from them so I can get it all done in one phone conversation, because you've left out that entire, whatever's. Just frustrating.
And you didn't even need a new machine anyway.
Well, I don't need a new one. I'll take it.
Sure.
Well, for the whole point of what we were talking about, how I don't bring it on the road. I don't know if I've ever told the listeners, but I basically have a power supply that's like welded to the wall, for lack of a better term. I have this headboard that doesn't have legs. It has to be screwed to the wall.
Okay.
And I've wired the power cord behind it. And then where the bed sits and where my desk is and where everything at the foot of the bed is, I basically have to move all of the furniture in my room to be able to pull this enough to dismantle it, to be able to pull the cord out.
So you can never move.
Well, I can. I'll only do it once. But the idea is like, for that, I was like, okay, I'll buy a cord. I'll buy a replacement cord for $100. And every time I go to do that, it's like, it won't be delivered. I'm always like, oh, I got to go hit the road. I got to I won't get it for 3 days and I'll already be gone. And then when I come back, I'm not in a hurry. I think we talked about this. I'm like, by the time I get back, I'm not in a hurry to spend $100 on something I won't need for 6 months or whatever.
We have I have a buddy, Lacomber, also has a CPAP. So the first time he got it, he was coming with me. We were doing a golf holiday in British Columbia. There was 4 of us, all staying in a cabin. And so it was the first time he was using it. And the first night, you guys have the lines on your face when you wake up, from the straps, So he had these permanent lines cut into his face for the straps. And he's like, yeah, something's wrong. Like, he's like, it wasn't more like I slept worse and like I could barely breathe. And so then he called the doctor and he's like, well, what did you do? And he's like, I put it on like this. And he's like, listen, pal, that only goes over your nose. It doesn't go over your mouth and nose. So Sean put the machine over both in tubes. So he's just like, he couldn't breathe out,
funny enough, you can breathe with them because it's not designed to have your mouth open.
Oh, okay.
Because if you open your mouth, it's just coming out. It's just like, it's not even getting into your lungs. It's literally just.
Oh, right.
Because I've got one, I've had all of them. I've had one that's just like 2 little things that go right in your nostrils. Doesn't even cover your nose. It's right up your nostrils.
Yeah.
That one is so intense it dries out. My sinuses can't do it.
Okay.
Then there's one that just goes over your nose, but you'll sleep with your mouth closed because it just goes in. Funny enough, if you're getting enough oxygen through your nose, your mouth won't open.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like it just creates a seal. You open your mouth to get more air. That's basically your body going, I'm not getting enough through the nose, so let's open up another intake. So it's designed so that I can breathe in and out through the nose. Just breathe in and out. So it basically doesn't fight you on the way out.
Oh, it wouldn't work for me anyway. It'd all go out my left ear.
Want to see a trick? Snap. Detected leak. Oh, and it'll tell you when there's a leak detected. It's fucking hilarious.
Really?
Oh yeah. Like if the way it sits on your face, there's like air. I woke up in the morning with my eyes on fire because there was just like a little gap between my nose and my cheek, and the air was just firing into my eye all night while I slept, drying it out like crazy. I can only imagine while you're sleeping, just the eyelid sort of puttering open and closed.
You had pink eye in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. But they're weird machines like that. And I even had full face because, like, I guess the way my face is shaped, the cheekbones sort of stick out. So putting a mask on it sits on the cheekbones and over the nose, and then the air here on the channel on the side. So I've tried full face ones where you're tightening shit and just trying to create a seal in it. No dice. But
that's a Scottish cheekbones. High cheekbones in the Highlands.
Do they?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
good for me. I win them all, baby. I don't know. The CPAP thing is a pain in the ass. And you got to wash the tubes like every day.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh no, you're going to get bacteria in your shit.
Yeah.
Oh man, no. You got to wash that out, man.
Well, I do it every few days.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I'm like, no, this already smells like bad breath. I guess it's time to clean it.
You just put Pert Plus in there or something? There's a, get a little 2-in-1 going?
Try to condition the fucking... I basically, our sink, it fits right over the pipe of the sink. So I'll just like pump a bunch of soap into the tube, stick it on, turn it on, hold it over the bathtub and just run the water through it. And they sell all these things like So Clean where you just stick it in and hit a button. I'm like, oh, that's way better. But then they're like, it just ends up smelling like chlorine afterwards. So instead of smelling bacteria, you're smelling chlorine every time you go to sleep. It's like, no good. It's like when you inhale, you jump in the water and the pool water shoots up your nose and your nose is burning all the time.
Fucking hell. I'd rather
I could just lose weight. Yeah. I could just lose weight, but apparently that's...
Not in the pandemic.
I'll blame the pandemic.
Back. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we got to put that back. That project's like, fall 2021.
It's so funny. Like, it's still less work to clean a tube every week than lose the weight.
Yeah.
Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Oh. I do think it's funny that the most basic of human survival skills, breathing, it's not one I can do on my own.
It's so good.
I'm phoning it in. Is there any way someone else, we got anything that can take care of this for me? Like the ultimate making life easier is a CPAP machine. It's so like the funny. Rule number one to being something that's alive. Yeah. Respiration. I'm like, not for me. Not for me.
Need Uber for my lungs.
Yeah. Can we outsource this?
Somebody in Silicon Valley to help me out here. This is fucking breathing nonsense.
We found this breathing. We made an iron lung the size of a fucking alarm clock. Can you at least strap this to your face, fatty? I'm like, I have to clean it out, or what? Bacteria gets in there, makes my lungs worse. Well, you fucking fix it then. You fucking eggheads, what you got? You make one that cleans itself, huh?
I'll take the tapeworm.
Oh my God. It's fucking pathetic, but it is funny to me. I mean, you got to be able to laugh at yourself.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
The idea that every night I got to hook up something that breathes for me.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. And it's good that the technology's there, I mean, like... Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it? We're saving fatties by the fucking millions. Like, are we saving the best people, Paul? Really? Are we? What is my contribution? We walked down.
Brilliant minds are all shapes and different sizes. I think
you are exceptionally positive.
Well, I used to be. I was a former big man myself.
But former. That's the thing that you basically. That's redemption. You know what I mean? Like you're the guy who threw himself on the grenade after being like you're the Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Right? Wow. You used to sell the weapons and now you're like, no, peace and goodness.
I was happier when I was bigger though. That's the truth. It was awesome.
Happier?
Oh yeah. It was fucking great. It was great. You eat whatever you want. And then you're just like the guy with the Hawaiian shirt at the party that everybody wants to talk to. It's fucking awesome.
I don't think I've worn Hawaiian shirts since I was thin.
Really?
I think I did it backwards.
Oh, mate, you got to get into that.
Yeah.
Everybody loves a big guy with a Hawaiian shirt.
Do they, though?
Oh, yeah.
I think he's more of a prop.
Yeah. Well, of course, but we are props. You and I right now are props. We're fucking...
I just think it's funny. Like, I don't know. The big guys... Like it's everybody wants to hang out, but then it's but I'm still gonna have to go whack off myself. You know what I mean? Like, who wants to join the fun guy in bed? Everyone's like, got a bus to catch.
Aloha.
Aloha. The Hawaiian shirt thing is fucking hysterical to me. Just they're one of the big guy in the Hawaiian in Canada of all places. Get it?
Yeah.
They were like the original hipsters. They were wearing the Hawaiian shirts ironically.
Oh yeah.
They just didn't know it.
Yeah, the white puka shell. I had it all going, man. I had it all going.
Just want to walk around like John Hammond all the time.
Yeah.
In a white suit. Isn't this lovely?
I don't know. Nice fedora, Josh.
That was my CPAP adventure. It's just
it's good.
Fighting hard for some. That's the funniest thing. It's like I'll fight hard for the thing that'll do everything for me.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and he must feel so much better. Like you're finally sleeping well, and you must feel great.
The I would say the sleep haze wears off faster.
Yeah,
like when we wake up, rather than feeling sluggish in the mornings, I do feel a little okay, I got oxygen last night. So yeah. I guess, I used to get I wake up, dude, especially at Kingston. I was waking up with headaches, dry, like coughing stuff up for the first hours away because I basically wasn't breathing at night. I woke up like 6-7 times a night, constantly, probably more.
No. You don't sleep well in Kingston, the Red Deer of Ontario. I never sleep well there. What am I doing in this?
Did you have an okay time sleeping?
Yeah, it was okay. What was it? It was hot. Was it hot? I think it was hot.
Super hot.
It was hot.
Super hot. I had that room the week before you, and I'm like every night waking up, throwing the sheets off, like can't breathe, too hot. And again, it's when it's super hot from the ventilation, it dries out the air too, which isn't doing me any favors. Respiration wise.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, but yeah, it was all right. I got love for Kingston a little bit.
Yeah, me too. I do like. I like fucking around. We didn't do a whole hell of a lot. We went to Costco. Did we go anywhere else?
Absolutely not. We were watching elections.
That's right. Right. Old Sleepy Joe and
Smoking Joe.
And I'm still the president. I won. It's me. I won.
It's stressing me out so
all the
much.
Legal votes counted.
I can't look at it anymore because I'm going to shut it off until January 20th. I can't do it anymore because the thing is, it's working. Like they're doing polls now and he is infecting the brains of everybody down there. It is working.
Oh yeah.
It's just
everyone's like he got, I spoke to someone this week at my Nespresso Roadshow in a Costco I was talking to, and they're like, that there's so many illegal votes coming in. I'm like, how would you know that there's illegal? Oh, there's all these votes that they're counting that they shouldn't have counted. Why do you think they shouldn't have counted them? Well, because he told them to stop counting them. I'm like, well, of course he did. He has a complete vested interest in not having votes that are against him counted. Yeah. No. They're lying to you down there. And I'm like,
yeah, I read an article.
To tell you.
It's fucking ridiculous. I read an article about a nurse from South Dakota. She was with a dying patient of COVID, and as they were their last breaths, and it was no family around. Obviously, you're not allowed in there. The last breaths were, Biden's going to ruin this country and COVID's fake. And the nurse was like, you are taking your last dying breaths of COVID. You are dying right now of COVID. And they're like, it's fake. And then like, Biden's going to, like that's how much it's bewildering to me.
Well, it's funny to me that there's a country that thinks that a disease was created by the liberals to hurt the chances of a president's reelection, even though that president completely stood in the way of any kind of progress on this disease. Yeah. So if it was to hurt his chances, wouldn't he have done the best job to prevent it? Like some of this is just simple logic. My last episode, dude, I was like, and I never get super fired up. Yeah. But I was like fired up. I'm like, you can't even tell these people, like when you and I were sitting there, we were saying Biden's not great. He's boring. He's this and that. Like he's had previous, like, even though that's the guy that we wanted to win, we can still recognize he's got flaws, a lot of them. Right. But you can't get, I said this to on last week. I said, you can't get a Trump supporter to admit that anything this guy does is anything but perfect. Yeah. A friend of mine I spoke to said, like, I go, he said that he's done more for black people than any other president. And they're like, well, he has. I'm like, if you're that out to lunch, if you can't, I go, no human being is perfect. But you talk to a Trump supporter, Trump is the most perfect human being that has ever lived. And I go, if you can't admit that there's some things about him that are not ideal, less than perfect, like, what is it you think it is? Like, there's like a little linchpin, and if you pull anything out, that it all falls. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like people who can't admit that, like, religion has its flaws. You know, like they can't even admit that priests fuck kids. There's been millions of cases, but they just can't admit that it's ever happened. No, it's a lie. Look, maybe there's a bunch of good shit about it, but you got to be able to have a conversation and influence someone else. You can't be like, nope, perfect. Everything said perfect. Because you sound, to the other people, you sound like a moron. Yeah. Whereas like you listen to and you know what? Democrats are full of themselves too. Yeah. They walk around, our guys, shit doesn't stink, whatever. Like, that's what it is. Whatever. It's a case of the smallest dogs always bark the loudest.
Yeah. And would it be, if it might be the case, I mean, Trump is polarizing for sure, but it, because of, you know, you watch a documentary like The Social Dilemma, it probably would have been this divided, whoever these two people were in this time frame. It is just the access to information and false information on both sides that, so I mean, it's unfortunate that he's such a big personality, but I think no matter what, we're fucked. The next election is going to be the same thing. It's going to, you know, it doesn't matter who the people are anymore. You can find, you know, on both sides. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's, well, it's funny to me, and it's kind of sad. I saw something, maybe I'll be able to pull it up. It was on All Things Comedy. And if I had the fucking good sense to bring in my my other cord, I would have probably played it. But George Carlin talked about how in his later years he became an observer.
Yeah.
He's like, I stopped trying to change things, and I just became an observer of what was going on, and I found it a lot more. That's so funny that I can hear you puffing.
Oh yeah, I got my cord too.
What's that?
I got my cord.
Do you have the one that'll plug in and you can play it? Are you cool with it's like a 5-minute thing, but it was interesting what Carlin was saying about it.
Oh yeah, sure.
Are you interested? Okay. Do you mind grabbing that? And I'm going to find this.
Okay.
And we'll just do, I guess I'll throw it on pause, gang. I won't make you guys sit through the prep portion. All right. And we're back. We got it set up. The wonderful Paul Myrehaug, except it's not letting me turn on number 2. I don't know why it won't let me turn on 2. 2 is...
Oh, because you've already been recording.
Is that why?
Yeah.
It won't let you just add a track?
Track, man? What are you kidding me?
Seriously? Is that how it works?
Yeah. You can't do that.
Well, then I'm pulling you out.
That's fine. Bye, everybody.
I'll be back in a second here. Let's do this here. The old, adios, Paul. Paul's out. Paul's out, guys. He's still across the table.
Still here.
Plug you in there. But you can still hear, I assume. You'd still be able to hear it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're good. Okay. All right, guys. So this is a thing George Carlin said about his stand-up comedy. I saw it yesterday. I really liked something I didn't know about the guy who I already had tremendous amount of respect for, but here we go.
In the last 7 to 8 years,
Jesus
I
Christ.
began to develop a different comic voice and a different perspective. Stand-up comedy is a low art. It's a vulgar art. It's an art of the people. It's not
But it's
fun,
an art.
But it is an art. It has to do with interpreting the world as you see it and then writing something and then delivering it verbally. And I found a very liberating position for myself as an artist. And that was, I sort of gave up on the human race and gave up on the American dream and culture and nation and decided that I didn't care about the outcome. And that gave me a lot of freedom from a kind of distant platform to be sort of amused, to watch the whole thing with a combination of wonder and pity and try to put that into words.
Not caring about the outcome. What do you mean by that?
Not having an emotional stake in whether this experiment with human beings works. I really don't care. I love people as I meet them one by one. People are just wonderful as individuals. You see the whole universe in their eyes if you look carefully. But as soon as they begin to group, as soon as they begin to clot, when there are 5 of them or 10, or even groups as small as 2, they begin to change. They sacrifice the beauty of the individual for the sake of the group. I decided it was all under the control of groups now, whether it's business, religion, political people, or what, and I would distance myself from wishing for a good outcome. Let it do what it's going to do, and I'll enjoy it as an entertainment.
And I'll reflect on what it is on its own.
And I'll enjoy it for the entertainment. There's a little bit of a sick part in this, too. I root for the big comet. I root for the big asteroid to come and make things right. That's the way I put it.
Stir things up.
Yes, to get us back where we were before the first one came and knocked out these dinosaurs and let the ferrets
We're
grow
talking
up.
about comets on this show tonight.
I know it. And I'm rooting for that big one to come right through that hole in the ozone layer because I want to see it on CNN. See, I'm here for the entertainment, Charlie. I am. These philosophers say, why are we here? I know I am here.
For the entertainment.
The show. Bring it on. I want to see the circus.
But how does this affect your performance and what you bring to stand-up?
Well, I've seen a lot of comedians, we've all seen a lot of comedians who seem to have a political bent in their work. And always implicit in the work is some positive outcome, that this is all going to work. If only we do this, if only we pass that bill, if only we elect him, if only we do that. It's not true. It's circling the drain time for humans. I believe this. I honestly believe this. Not just as a comedian, he thinks that. He likes to say that. Yeah. I believe it. And when you say to yourself, I don't care what happens, it just gives you a broader perspective for the art, for the words to emerge, to not care. That's what happened in that 92 show. That's why I could say the planet is fine, the people are... Because the planet will outlast us. It will be here and it will be fine.
Has the subject matter changed?
Well, you're still stuck with what's going on, but I don't like topical. I don't like political humor. I don't mention politicians. In fact, I defend them in this particular show. Everyone is on their... Everyone is always making things...
Politicians are bad.
I defend them and blame it on the people. This is where it belongs.
You get what you deserve?
Yes, you get what you deserve, and you deserve what you get. And I have a slogan, the public sucks. And it works nicely, and people accept it. Not very enthusiastically, but they understand that it says we the people in that preamble. It doesn't say them the thises and those the thatses. It says, hey.
We got on this boat.
And people who hate government are involved in a form of suicide because government is self-government. And if you hate the government, you hate yourself. Yeah. And it's the same with the war against nature that mankind goes through. So I just said to myself, it's not going to get better, not in my lifetime. Let me enjoy this and get a little perverse about my commentary on it. I open
what does perverse mean, though?
Well, to look for where the people think the line is. The people have values that these things, these amorphous things they call values that they bring to the seat in the theater when they sit down. Yeah. And I like to find out where their line may be and deliberately cross it, disturb them a little, make them uncomfortable, and then bring them with me across the line and make them glad they came. That's what I do. I'm an entertainer. I'm not a doomsayer. I'm not here to preach. I don't do political tracts. But I do entertain. I do a lot of jokes. But I want you to feel a little in danger along the way.
All right. Thank you, All Things Comedy, for posting that video. Something I'd never seen a comment on. I love that guy. I miss him. Fuck. I wish he was around now. But again, he would just be talking about what he saw and what he thought of it.
Yes, and watching that video, unlike you people at home, I had the pleasure of actually watching on your phone, and I missed the skullet.
Yeah,
you know,
the old guy, the balding head with the hair back.
Yeah.
He was great.
He was
so fucking great.
Yeah.
But I think he's, it made me realize the whole it's. Just watch it. It's not going to change. It's not like he said, it's not like this guy gets in, everything's going to be better. This one's all these messages like, oh, once this happens, everything's going to be fine. It's like, no, you can't bring people together and the accountability, right? Whatever. Who cares? Everyone's sick of this shit. You and I had fun making 1,000 jokes about Trump being the best thing for black people. I was the one who was there. My family, Harriet Trumpman. She was happy. She was
Trumpman.
Harriet Trumpman.
That one made me. That crushed me. Trumpman.
Harriet Trumpman.
I told her to sit at the front of the bus. I didn't care. Yeah. Trumpman. Oh,
no, it's hilarious too for him to mix up Rosa Parks and Harriet Trumpman. That's so fucking Rosa Central Parks across from Trump Tower.
Yeah. To compare himself on that debate to Abraham Lincoln is just unbelievable. I mean, I wish I was. I'll never be obviously as intelligent and as enlightened as Carlin, but that was a good clip for me to have something to strive for. But unfortunately, I'm a dumb enough monkey that I will always be caught up in the nonsense.
Well, I don't mind, and he pays attention to it. You can't satirize it if you're not aware of it. Mm-hmm. So the guy paid attention. It's just rather than him having a dog in the fight, he was just like, I'm comfortable to sit back and see how it plays out.
Yeah, beautiful.
And I think I think personally for myself too, like I didn't really have a dog in the fight. I think I was excited to see what would happen if the orange monkey got booted, which he clearly did. Mm-hmm. And I think now they're 8 million ahead or something like that. So they're saying like it's it's not even close now. Mm-hmm. So for the people to be like holding on, they're literally grabbing onto it the same way he's grabbing the doors of the Oval Office. No, it's mine. It's my room. No, I'm not going to go. Just the orange fingerprints sliding down the hall from the bronzer or whatever. No, I won't go. Yeah. Tours of the White House. This is where the former commander-in-chief refused to leave after several constituents did not want him here anymore. Why is this one kind of pinkish? That's the Big Mac sauce that was on his hands. And he goes, that's it changes color over here.
It's the healthiest food. Sauce. It's the cleanest food.
Oh, and I talked about what you said. I talked about in the previous episode what you said about how insulting is it to everybody with like weight problems and stuff that he had a personal chef. Oh, he could have eaten good. Instead, he's like, give me the dumpster food.
Yeah. Like, what a fucking asshole. That is my dream, to have an executive chef make me like hit all my nutrition points. And you could have changed your life in 4 years.
Yeah.
And this fucking asshole didn't take advantage of it.
And
I mean, it's unbelievable.
The guy that has done more for black people than anyone else, he had a basketball team or a football team or a bunch of athletes to the White House and gave them KFC and McDonald's. Like, you could have made us an incredible meal. Instead, you're like, what's the cheapest food I can buy? Give it to them. They don't know. They're not used to it. I don't want them to get sick. Can black people eat filet mignon? What's filet mignon? Can they eat it? Does it make them sick?
And I think
I'm not a
that
scientist.
was the Kansas City Chiefs, which he didn't even know what state that fucking football team was in. He thought it was in Kansas. Yeah. Like it just.
It's Missouri, right?
Yes, it is Missouri.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God I wasn't. Woo! It's like when you like watch this and you go to serve the ball in volleyball or something, you fucking slap the bottom, it spins over your head, hits you in the shoulder.
It's your teammate in the back
Watch
of the head.
this, losers.
Here we go.
Yeah, but Oscar Trump's about no. Well, he didn't. He was under a lot of stress that day. He didn't mean to. The teleprompter said that it was Kansas State. It's not his fault. He's just got the level of excuses you guys will make for this man is unbelievable.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
I just can't wait for it to all quiet down. That's it. Just be boring
We can go back
old
to
man in a
priests
suit.
touching kids.
Yes, the way God intended.
Right? I mean, who'd know better than them? Oh man!
Did you hear about that? Speaking of the Boy Scouts of America, they have a bankruptcy claim, and they left it open if you want to get in and get your accusations of sexual misconduct into Boy Scouts.
They're doing
of
a
America.
last call for sexual misconduct.
Yeah. Just
for what a class action lawsuit or something?
For a class action for the bankruptcy, and 85,000 people came forward. 85,000. Now, a lot of that is going to be people just trying to do a money grab.
Yes,
but let's
I definitely. What do you think is a fair percent? Okay, 50?
50%. So,
Okay.
but 40,000 kids is still, that's a lot of miscounted. I'd say 50% are in it for the money, but still 40,000 fucking kids.
Well, that's almost like you got to wonder that there's organizations in place that clearly someone's like, well, I'm a pedophile, and where do we get away with it?
Yeah.
Clearly, I can become a priest, cardinal, whatever, or I can, join the Boy Scouts. But the Boy Scouts is a religious affiliated, is it not?
No, I don't think so. I mean, they have like a thing you say in a pledge, but there's no religion attached to it.
Oh, really? No. Okay, they've got their own personal little
their little
code of
thing.
conduct.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I love that it's 3 fingers stuck straight up. Like that's suggestive as hell. Huh? The kid's like, I don't.
You'll get used to it.
Oh my God. Don't they? Yeah, they stick them side by side. They don't even have the courtesy of
no. They're not going to do it. Yeah, it's a horrible thing. And I got my eye on all those. One time I made a gift for one of my nieces at that Build-A-Bear place.
Okay.
Have you seen those in the shopping mall? You get to build a teddy bear.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're all on the list as well. Employees of Build-A-Bear.
Build-A-Bear?
Shaky people.
I think it's funny that the scouts are like, let's get the kids away from their parents out into the middle of the woods with no technology, no cell phone service.
Yeah. I'll teach you how to fish.
Yeah. Did you ever hear that stupid old street joke where someone's like, hey, if you woke up in the morning, if you went camping and you woke up in the morning with Vaseline all over your ass, would you tell anybody?
No, I think so.
You would?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the joke back then, of course, like in my early teens when I heard that, the joke would be like, if you woke up with Vaseline, would you tell anybody? Like, no. Like, want to go camping? Like that was it's almost like that old one, like, hey, if I washed my cock, would you suck it? No, dirty cocksucker. Just stupid male bullshit, but
good times. Good, clean fun.
Like, I love that the biggest, stereotype is like, my uncle took me camping. And
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think that there's such a low percentage of chance that you're going to have a good time camping anyways, and such a high percentage that you're going to get molested.
Oh, God.
Why do people camp?
Yeah, why? Jesus. Terrible.
Camping has resulted in more rape than roofies. Trump supporters, get me the stats on that.
He was under a lot of stress.
Where's the Big Macs? Okay. Oh my God, that's funny to me. Camping is responsible for more rape than roofies.
And the math adds up.
That's the thing too. I got roofied last night. Well, at least you didn't sleep on the ground. At least you got to shower and sleep in a fucking bed.
Have you ever been roofied? I've been roofied once.
Have you?
Yeah, in the Dominican Republic.
You have the floor.
Yeah. But it was a scam to steal my money, and it worked. But in the Dominican Republic, I was at a nightclub off campus, off of the resort. I went into town, and And I remember putting my credit card down and saying something like, 30 beer, like a ton of beers, passing it out to people at the bar.
That's nice.
And it was very like $9 for 30 beers or something. And so I'm flashing it around a little bit, and then I remember a spider exploding when I was back home in my resort hotel room bed. I was working as a comic down there, by the way, doing casino shows. I remember a spider exploding with a bunch of baby spiders coming out of it, which
That's
is
disgusting.
obviously a hallucination.
Okay. I thought it was like quite lit. I mean, shows you how much I know about third world countries.
And then I remember trying to pull myself off of walls, and then eventually calling somebody. And then there was a giant Dominican man in my hotel room with a shotgun, and a doctor putting medicine in my arm. And those are my memories of the evening. That's it. And then when I woke up,
was the shotgun and the doctor real?
Yes, it was. Yeah. So
I figure someone was guarding you and the doctor.
Yeah, it was the resort security coming with the doctor to my room to pump me full of drugs to get me better. And I woke up and I had something like $3,000 missing off my credit card, something like that. And,
obviously reimbursed by the credit card company.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But it was a sick scene, man. Wild scene.
I guess no idea how it happened. You're just buying beer. Someone was like into the drink with this guy.
And my credit. I didn't have my credit card anymore. A bunch of money, so I had to.
And they were confident it was Rufalin.
Absolutely, yeah. And then I got home, and from that needle, I ended up getting a vein infection. When I got back from Canada, I had huge lumps in my veins, and the doctor was like, "Well, this is trouble. You got he thought I was a heroin addict."
Really? He didn't believe you?
And I was like, "No, I was in the Dominican, and so there's a barrage of tests there, and all that. Everything turned out to be okay, but
so they would just antibiotics or something.
Antibiotics and stuff. But it was a terrible situation. So I don't recommend roofing anybody. It was terrible.
Fair. Go camping instead.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Yeah. A little tenderness.
Oh my God, I'm having fun. What horrible, what horrible subjects.
Yeah. What have we chosen? Yeah, let's move on.
I bought a Vitamix food processor.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
I've already got a Vitamix, but they had a food processor attachment.
Congratulations!
So you put it on.
You're doing very well for yourself.
Oh, thanks.
Unbelievable. That's an $1,100 product. That's what that is.
Not the food processor attachment. There's only 200. So the idea is the Vitamix is a blender, but it's not a food processor, right? Mm-hmm, so they've re-engineered one of the containers so that it's got like blades that'll just do all my shaving and trimming. It's basically like a mandolin. Right?
Yeah.
The thing that slices or whatever. So yeah, I basically got that in the thing, and then there's the blades at the bottom. So if I wanted to use, rather than going out and buying a food processor, there's an attachment for the Vitamix that now allows you to do the food processing aspect.
Because we have a Vitamix at home, like a real one. So maybe,
as do I. And it's great. And it's absolutely fantastic. So, but the thing is, now you can get an attachment for the Vitamix. So if you do food processing where like doughs and stuff, where you're like, oh, I want to just blend it up. Even the one person I watched was making these little like fig balls or whatever. So the idea is rather than just you can't use a Vitamix, it'll just pulverize it and blend it into one paste.
Yeah, right.
But they're like the food processor. It's basically been engineered so it can only go one speed in the Vitamix. Oh. So you use it as a food processor, but a lot of food processors are stupid expensive. You get the Vitamix one, and now you can do shave your carrots, it'll slice cucumbers and stuff into the thing. It's just like done.
Beautiful.
So basically you're just getting a food processor for less, and it's just an attachment that a new container you put on the Vitamix, and it's engineered to just do it its own way.
Unbelievable. So you have the ShamWow of vegetable slicing.
Well, yeah, and I never use it. But they were running out of stock at Costco, and she's like, I only got one left, and I was like, well, then give it to me.
Better get it then.
I'm a consumer like that. There's none left. I can always bring it back.
Your love for Costco delighted me. We went on that. It was awesome. Yeah.
Everything's fucking cheap there.
It was great.
I feel like I'm losing money shopping.
And your style at shopping is Costco's hilarious. So I'm going to paint a picture here.
Please.
We had a cart. We were sharing a cart, and it was great. It was sanitized. And what Mr. Williams does is he walks down the aisles and he throws things in there. Even he's not quite sure if he wants them or not. So by the time, maybe 20 minutes into the ride, we had 3 pairs of shoes. We had
I forgot about that.
17 books. We had fleece hoodies. We had fucking bags of carrots. We had fucking bok choy. We had everything. And then at the end of the thing, you assess and you're like, well, I don't need sneakers. And then you go put everything back that you don't need. So it's an interesting process. It's very cool.
By put everything back, you mean put it on the first skid to my right?
Yeah.
What I decided
Yeah, you do. Yeah, right beside
these
this hill.
sneakers, drop them on a fucking pallet of olives. You're gonna get the runs from these. That's what I'm trying to say. No.
That's true, right? Yeah, you fuck them off right beside the chocolate bark. There you go. Now you get a
This
spatula.
is where you live now. You'll be someone else's treasure to find.
I'd never seen a consumer person like that before. It was great. Just all the impulses in and then a reassessment.
I have a courting process with all these products. I spend some time with them, see if are you going to fit in my life or not. I'm running through simulations in my head going, I had to bend over. These have laces. They don't slip on. Well, who am I trying to be?
Yeah, and you're giving tips to people. Like people walk by, you'd be like, "There's shoes over on aisle 4. There's a couple of sizes left if you want to."
Those people are like, I'm like, they also have gray ones.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just feel like I'm the kind of person where like I'm a big consumer. So I'm like, if there's any other information, I want to know. If I'm looking, I'm like, oh, I don't like blue. And someone's like, oh, there's black ones at the bottom. Oh, okay. I wanted them in black. I just didn't know.
Yeah.
There are like anything 2 feet from the ground, I'm not bending over to have a look at. That's all.
Yeah.
It's a lot of weight to have to hoist back up with the small of my back.
Oh my God. And then you weren't sure about one product. He had this box of like Belgian wafer.
Yeah. I took those back, by the way.
Oh, you did?
I ate the ones. I'm like, no, they're not sweet enough. And I took them back.
And he wanted to have a closer inspection. So the guy fucking reaches into his pocket, pulls out a pocket knife, like a switchblade, and then opens up the package, inspects, and then closes it, and then puts the open package back in, and then takes an unopened package.
Yeah, you asked me, you're like, you're not going to get that other one? I go, no, some asshole opened it up.
I was alive. I felt like a criminal. I was like, this is crazy.
Wasn't there some woman who walked by right before that too, and I said something to her, she ignored me?
Yes.
And I was like, I've been ignored by better.
Yeah. You don't want my pistachio information?
Yeah, I got the inside scoop, bitch. Living your life with your head in the sand.
No shells over there.
No shells.
Did you hear me?
Did you hear me? Hey, Susan. Fuck you. I try to make my ex hated shopping with me because she's like you look at everything and I'm always but I try to make it fun. At least we're gonna joke about the shit that we see.
Yeah, of course.
We get to hear where my crazy brain thinks that this is gonna fit into our life.
Yeah. Because I quickly realized I'm like, oh, we're gonna do every aisle. When you're shopping with Joe, you're going down. You got a snake pattern, and we do every aisle.
Even I hope it wasn't too excruciating.
Industrial size OxyClean. You're like, oh, look at that. That's pretty good. We're gonna need that in Kingston for the next 2 days.
That's the one thing I think would probably OxyClean. I'm like, all right, I don't know what a lot of these stains came from in the condo.
Yeah. I still have apples from that bag, by the way.
Do you?
3 weeks later.
I bought a bag of apples. Yeah. I still have a shitload. Yeah, I brought back the wafer things. Wasn't happy with them. For the amount of I ate a third because they had 3 packages in there. I ate one of them. And I was like, no. For 200 and some calories each, for them to not even be, dude, they were so not even sweet. I've had those things before where they're like crazy sweet.
Yeah.
These were like nothing. It was like crackers with like a little bit of chewy paste. No. Like to the same degree of sweetness as maybe a Fig Newton. But like if you took that shit and layered it, 10%, 20% of what's actually in the cookie. It just wasn't very sweet. And I'm like, so I'm not going to eat something. Yeah. Back you go.
Yeah.
We're taking you back to the farm. You can play with other not sweet enough fucking
Dutch
cookies.
People.
Yeah, I don't know. So I bought the Vitamix. I basically just sliced a cucumber in it and was like, all right, it works. And then just put it in a cabinet. I probably won't pull it up for 6 months.
Oh, well, it's good. It's nice to have on.
Great waste of $200.
Entertaining when all the,
364 days I'll bring it back to Costco and go, there you go. I didn't use it. It wasn't for me. And then I'll see one that's $100 in 2 weeks and go, maybe for $100.
That cucumber was pretty good. I'll fucking take that.
I mean, I could slice it myself for free, but this thing will do it for $200.
Yeah, exactly. Hilarious.
Fucking idiot.
Hilarious.
I'm such a fucking idiot. You know, I bought an air fryer too. You ever use an air
Oh,
fryer?
I love an air fryer. Ninja?
Yeah?
Did you buy Ninja?
I did.
Oh, man, I love an air fryer.
Yeah.
Oh, the chicken wings. Oh.
That works good.
Oh.
I've been doing fries and stuff, and I'm kind of like, I like that it's no oil, so no extra calories.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Fries worked good in it. I reheated some egg rolls in it. I did cauliflower buffalo bites.
Oh.
They had them at Costco, so the wholly veggie kind.
Yeah.
Threw them in there, some parchment paper, fry them up nice and crispy, toss them in the buffalo sauce with some sour cream.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, I like that Ninja thing. I had my first experience with that a couple of weeks ago in Vancouver. I went to a football watching party and the guy had a Ninja go. Oh, it was awesome.
They're
awesome.
$100, which I thought wasn't too bad for what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then they were $20 off at Costco.
Wow.
So I was like, I think the regular price is like $129. Costco had it for $99 and then $20 off. So I'm like, $80, an air fryer. I'm like, I never make, I don't know. Dude, I'm so fucking lazy. I don't like baking sheet shit in the stove.
Yeah.
I don't. It's just, and it's like you do a thing of fries and it's like, and then halfway through, pull them out and flip all the fries. Have you ever tried to flip a tray of fries?
It's frustrating.
Well, it's
because you don't know which ones have been flipped.
Well, yeah, and you try to flip them over, and half of them slide off the spatula the same way they were on, and then you're flipping them on top, and now you got to spread. I have no real problems in life, but people are suffering with cancer. I'm like, can you believe these fries won't flip? There's gotta be a better way.
Ninja.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, air fryer does the job.
It's great. Fuck yeah, I'm jealous,
dude. Can you believe that these were the things on my list of things to talk about? If I didn't have you, we could talk about camping, rape, and stuff like that. Like,
which we do apologize to the onesies out there.
I rescind his apology. Yeah. If you got camping fucked, please don't tell everybody that camping's fun. It's the people that are saying, "Oh, camping's a lot of fun." Yeah, you get to cook. I don't like cooking food the easy way in the oven. You're going to go out there and build a fire and makeshift fucking stuff, and then let's flip the salmon and bullshit. I don't know, Chernobyl fish we caught in the lake or whatever. We gut it and be disappointed because your dad doesn't really know how to get all the bones out of it. So you're eating fish and pulling these little fucking dagger bones out. Do you eat fresh cut fish?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Love it. I live in the Mediterranean, man. That's what it's all about.
Fresh caught fish. Yeah, but they you don't gut it yourself, do you?
No.
That's what I'm saying. So people who know how. If you go camping, your dad's so fucking happy he caught a sunfish, doesn't even know how to fucking gut it properly, rips half. He's like, let's just throw it on the fire. The head's still on it. And you're like, all right,
No, that's...
I mean, I guess at that point, you gotta be just glad that he didn't fuck you.
Yeah.
He fucked you on the food is what he did. I'm not suggesting my dad ever did a shit job of cooking fish.
Yeah.
He just never took me camping. I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
I've just had fucking camping fish before, and I'm like, I don't like fish to begin with.
No, not a fish guy. Fish is great.
I'll do fish and chips now, like in a pub.
Sure.
Proper fish, breaded, deep fried.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
I'll eat tuna out of a can.
Sure.
You know, but don't like salmon. Something to the taste.
Sea bream? Do you like a sea bream?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, it's good.
Is it privileged fish?
Oh yeah. Yes. Yes. Oh, sea bream. Great fish.
Never even heard of it.
Oh, wonderful. Nice fish. What about sushi?
Seaweed. Hate the fucking taste.
Oh, really?
It's so gross, man. It's that dirty, stinky fish smell. Like when you go to a grocery store, their fish section, which is subpar.
Yeah.
It's that stinky fish smell. That's what seaweed is to me.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, I don't know if I've talked about this in the podcast before, but I remember excuse me, I got the hiccups now. I remember a time where it was like the stuff with the rice, and then the seaweed was on the outside. The black was on the outside because it held everything together.
Yeah.
But now you're looking at it, and the rice stays around everything. It doesn't need the seaweed to hold it, right? They get the seaweed on the inside, just around the other shit. And I'm like, when did that change? If you don't need the seaweed to hold it all together, the rice will do it. I'll take that. Get the fucking seaweed out of it.
Yeah.
Well, was it you? I think you told me. You're like, yeah, you can get it without the seaweed.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Disgusting.
No.
Yeah. And I don't like the raw texture of fish.
Okay.
Another thing that bothers me. Oh, buddy, I get fucking angry about a lot of things. I don't like the super small amount of fish you get. You know what I mean? Like when you look inside, and I don't like the ones where it's just rice with the piece of, salmon laying on top or whatever. Is that what it's called? Mackies? Don't like them.
Really?
I don't like the texture and I don't like the taste of raw fish.
God, really?
So I will eat something like a California roll or whatever,
Sure,
right?
sure.
Or something that's got, fish in it, but it's a small amount. But it's like by the time you put it in there, it's like the size of a number 2 pencil worth of fish.
Yeah.
And then a number 2 pencil amount of cucumber.
Yeah.
And then let's say carrots or whatever.
Yeah.
Arguably nothing in terms of food cost.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Rice costs nothing.
Nothing.
And then they cut it all up. Here, that'll be $12.
Yeah.
Really? Because I could get that fish, a piece of fish and chips fish.
Yeah.
I can order that for the same price. Do you know how much sushi I could make out of that fucking piece?
Mm-hmm.
So to me, there's a bit of a, like, you're really paying for the preparation. You're not paying for the electricity because they ain't cooking that shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know. There's something, it seems for what you get and how much I like it, I really don't think that it's worth what they charge.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
What you need is what we do in the Med is you do sushi parties. So you make all the ingredients and then you roll it yourself.
Okay.
Now that's what you need because now we're cost effective.
Yes.
You know. Yeah.
I don't need the fucking seaweed.
Seaweed. Yeah. You can do all rice if you want to. It's great. That's good.
Okay.
Times, yeah.
I would fuck with that.
All right.
I would fuck with that. But yeah, not big pieces of eel.
Oh,
Whatever that yellow shit is that they put on top of it.
Yeah.
We want some fucking, I don't know.
No.
My listeners have heard me talk at length about how, like, I told people I don't like fish. And like, well, did you try it here? Did you try it there? I've gone all the way to Halifax, sat on the harbor, ate at a restaurant where they caught the lobster out of the water right then and there.
Yeah.
$50 for it. Still disgusting. Chewy, rubbery. It's not for me.
All right.
Right? Some people like it in the butt. I don't.
Yeah.
I
Scottish.
mean, I wouldn't know.
Scottish.
Maybe I do, actually. You know what? I don't mean to be so fucking closed-minded, But I will tell you, I am actually currently more open-minded to taking it in the ass than I am to eating sushi. How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
That's a strong disdain.
I should put that in the tagline of the podcast.
Yeah.
Listen to Josh talk about this, that, and the other. For what it's worth, he's more open to... No, overpriced. But I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Right? In terms of costs, seafood's not cheap.
No.
So, like, why would I go out of my way to buy the expensive shit when I'm just as happy having a piece of fucking chicken breast?
And I just like the feeling after. You're eating like a polar bear, It's just you don't have that disgusting, like, what the fuck happened after you're eating whatever. Sushi is just clean burn, and I like it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe I'll give it another try. Maybe what we'll do is, if there's time, maybe we'll go to a sushi spot.
Great. Oh, we got a date on Monday.
We'll do that?
We'll do sushi on Monday.
How do you feel about those places where you just go and you order off the iPads and they just keep bringing it to the table?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like, or a train. I like a sushi train too, where there's a moving conveyor belt.
Oh, I don't think we have any of those now.
What?
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh God.
I can check. I wouldn't be the one to know, but Jason loves sushi, and he's never gone to that. So they just have it going and people pick it up.
Conveyor belt.
I would imagine during the time of COVID, that's probably not something that they would allow, because buffets are closed too.
Oh, yeah, right.
So they probably wouldn't be like, yeah, get your Rona fingers all over these fucking things.
Get your mitts on there, kid.
So look at this. We've talked about the air fryer, huh? We talked about the Vitamix, the sleep apnea adventures. That's so funny, dude. I had a bit. I think I want to write this as a bit. I thought about this when I was just standing at Costco staring, but I'd love to get your thoughts on this because you're a sweetie pie. Whatever happened to staring? Staring. Yeah. When you stare at somebody, when kids stare at you,
yeah,
that like your first instinct is, oh, that's so rude. You're like, they don't know any better. And they're fascinated. Yeah. It's a curiosity thing. I don't know. Me personally, I don't feel insulted when a kid's staring at me. Regardless of the reasons. Because a kid is probably staring because, at that point you're just, what's getting my attention? And there's probably some sort of instinctual thing of like maybe danger or whatever. Yeah. Because kids always stare at the most outward, I don't know. All I know is if you stare at a beautiful woman, that's rude.
Very rude.
Why?
Well, because it's like that Seinfeld. You get a glimpse of it and you look away.
Why?
Because you're threatening them. Staring's threatening. So when you stare at it's a threatening move.
Even when a kid's doing it?
No, but
that's where a threat. But that's what I would ask is at what point, right? At what moment does it step over the line from threatening to non-threatening to threatening?
I'd say at 14 years old.
That exact day. Yeah. Happy birthday. Drop your gaze.
Yeah.
Drop your gaze.
Yeah. Eyes down, boy.
Yeah. Your mom and dad hand you a gift. Like, don't you fucking fuck me, kid.
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
I just, to me, I was thinking about it because I have nothing better to, I could be working while I'm at work, but instead I'm just thinking about staring. I was thinking like kids were staring at me, and then there was, beautiful women that you try not to get busted looking at. And I was just like, I don't like, there's a point where I totally get why people say it's rude. But part of me is like, isn't that because of the fact that we've given it context? Like if you look great and someone's just staring, wouldn't that is like, I mean, it's hard because I get the argument. I'm not saying it's not rude to stare, but I'm saying, isn't that context that we've as a society given it? Right? Because it's not threatening when a kid's doing it.
Right.
Right? Because why? Because the kid's fascinated. They're taking it in.
Yeah. I mean, it's adorable. It's innocent.
Is it rude to stare at art? No. In fact, it's almost, that's what you're supposed to do. Why? Because it's good looking. It's beautiful. But if you did that to a human for the exact same reason, wow, look how that's rude.
Yeah.
And I'm saying to me, that's not real. That's context we've given it.
Well, let me hit you with this.
Yes, please. And that's why I brought it up. I'd want a different perspective.
Yeah. So sometimes we do stare at humans in an artistic way, but they are putting themselves in that situation, let's say on a runway or and then that's completely fine because there is an agreement there. There is I'm going to do this, you're going to watch and stare at me, and that's fine. But if you're just out in the public place where there's no agreement, and the other party is not previous to your staring agreement, then it becomes threatening and a shitty thing to do, I think, because now you're putting... I
don't disagree. Yeah. I'm just, to me, it was the curiosity of like, because like I said, I do get it. I get that you can scare someone with it. You told me that story about you were just running at night and you scared the shit out of some hooker because she thought you were going to attack her. You can't just run at night. Like, yeah. So I guess to me, the part that's fascinating to me is not so much the act as just it's another one of those things in society where people have predetermined intent. Does that make sense? So to me, it was just fascinating because I'm like, yeah, because when a kid's doing it, we just predetermine that it's not rude. And if an adult's doing it, we predetermine that it is rude. Right?
Right.
But there's people who, there's people with like special needs when they stare. It's like, again, you automatically just know they're not trying to be rude. It goes back to that fascination, that curiosity.
Yeah.
So the thing to me in my head, the reason why I say, hey, whatever happened to staring is, to me, I'm like, I know that there's still times where I'll stare at something that's fine. Like you can stare at something in nature. You're not threatening it. It's not rude. Even though that thing you stare at an animal. That's literally what a zoo is. Go stare at things. Yeah. Right. And you're like, but I'm not a threat to them. Okay, but you're also not a threat to the woman that you may be staring at. She may perceive it that way.
Yeah.
But you're not a threat to them, personally. So I don't know. I don't know. It fascinated me for a moment in my brain where I was just like, we've just decided that staring is rude. I'm not saying I don't understand why. I do. You illustrated it beautifully, but I just thought it was interesting to me that it's one of those things where we've decided when this person does it at this age, it's a threat. When this person does it at this age, not, even though you might be staring for the same reason.
Yeah.
Let's say someone has a disability or a disfigurement. Child stares, okay, not a threat, right? But an adult does, it's rude.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. This is just kind of where my brain went, where it's like, well, they've never seen it before. As a child, they're looking, they're not trying to be rude. Well, I've never seen it before and it's fascinating. I don't look because obviously we go, well, that might make that person uncomfortable or insecure. Yeah. But then my brain went to, in terms of like, again, being an egalitarian, I'm like, well, yeah, but if I just deliberately look away from you, isn't that also some form of disrespect to treat you like you're not there, to just avoid you entirely? To me, that's equally disrespectful to looking, because to me, the staring is an attempt at understanding, whereas looking away is a dismissal.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Yeah.
So that's kind of like just the overall act of staring. We've decided when it's okay, when it's not, who's threatening with it, who's not, even though there's been no, like, back to what Carlin said in terms of the individual, it's all a group. You're an adult, you can't stare, you're a kid, go ahead, it's totally fine, there's no threat. I don't know. I don't have answers.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that was a thought process that occupied my head for a good 5 minutes, going like, yeah, it's really,
I'll tell you this, when I was a young man, they used to call me Winston Churchill. From when I was born till about 3 years old, I looked like Winston Churchill. I even
you
got
smoked
cigars.
Yeah.
But I did have cigars for my first birthday for my aunts and uncles, and
because they thought you looked like Churchill.
And I was just grumpy son of a bitch. And we were in a restaurant. Of course, I don't remember this, but we were sitting there, me and my family, and a gentleman came up to my family's table and said, I've already ordered and paid, but I'm not going to eat my food today because your son won't stop staring at me and it's disturbing me, and I'm leaving the restaurant. And I guess I just sat there and stared at the guy until he left. He didn't even eat his food. So how about that? Sometimes kids can be threatening.
That's a wood chipper guy if I've ever heard of one.
Yeah, that's a wood chipper guy. Yeah, for sure. What an asshole.
That's a reference from Paul's act, which I won't spoil on the podcast. I actually thought about that. I'm like, I'd love to ask the audience who are people that they. But I was like, yeah, but then that just kind of like burns the bit.
Yeah.
So I won't do that. But just know you're the wood chipper guy. Come see Paul's act. You got 2 nights in Ottawa to see him.
Maybe, who knows? It might be a lockdown. I think they're going to do some announcements today.
You and I will be stuck to the TV again. Wait, no, sorry. I got a mani-pedi to go to, buddy. I gotta take a quick look at the clock. I'm supposed to. I'll get a hold of my buddy. Oh my God, my friend Greg has messaged a lot of people. Oh my God.
Oh, something bad happened?
I don't know.
Did they take the Vitamix off? Is there a recall on Vitamix? Is there a recall?
No, it's actually a friend of mine who owns a restaurant. And hold on here. It looks come to my attention that it has been even tougher for the kids from an elementary school in our neighborhood. In speaking with a staff member, I learned that many children are coming to school without enough to eat and returning home to a little more. Oh, okay. So it's a call to action for helping out with Christmas meals. So I'll take a look at that in detail later and see if I can help. Boopity boop, boppity beep.
Boppity boop.
Boppity beep squeep. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So anyways, I'm glad we addressed the staring thing because I was going to say, yeah, it's just, and I get staring at a woman can be threatening. I do get that.
Yeah.
But I do think there's also a certain allure to like, I mean, obviously there's an instinctual hormonal thing like prey. I would imagine the staring is prey.
Yeah.
Because I think I shared this with my listeners a long time ago, but if I'll share it with you is, I heard somewhere that the reason people don't like public speaking is because everyone's staring at you. And it's why does that make us uncomfortable to be stared at? Yes. Yeah. Predatory. So the whole idea is the only time in nature you're getting stared at is when you're prey.
Yeah.
So that brings up the instinct. Did you know why that we get sick to our stomach and feel nauseous when we're nervous? Like why we feel like you're going to shit yourself or throw up?
I don't know.
Because in nature, if you're going to get attacked, if you're nervous, if you're afraid, because fight or flight in nature is not like, oh my God, I have bills to pay. It's like something's coming at me now.
Yeah.
The idea is throwing up or shitting yourself makes you lighter for fleeing.
Wow.
So that's what that is like if you throw up or shit yourself, you're now lighter. You have a better chance at fleeing as opposed to carrying that extra weight. That's why your body will do that.
Unbelievable.
Cool, eh?
That's very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah, there you go. Right. On the same vein. Oh, guys, this becomes educational. First we talk about camp rape and then... I'm just trying to see if there's anything here. Dude, I bought 2 cases of bubbly at Costco the other day because I enjoyed the stuff we had.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I was going to offer you.
Did you get through it?
Yeah, no, I was going to offer you some.
You're still working on it?
And I used...
you re-upped, okay.
I re-upped, yeah. And the first time I've used this, but Uber Eats has a grocery program now. So when I got into Ottawa here, there's not a grocery store or a
literally
going to
make me edit out a free plug for Uber Eats.
Oh, really?
No, I'm not.
Oh,
okay. No, really? Yeah. No, I don't give a fuck.
But yeah, I used it and it's delightful. So I had some guy drop off some bubbly for me.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. You're killing it. I got both kinds, the blue and the purple case.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I mean, what am I? I don't want people to think that I had to choose which flavors I want.
You're going to drink half a can and return it to Costco.
Half a case. Half a case. I treat it like a high school system. 49%, 51% for more is a pass. I bring them back a D- item. Well, sir, you drank 50%. I drank 49%, exactly. Which to me is the majority is still here. Take it back.
Yeah. And here's a Vitamix for you.
Just the container. The Vitamix is staying. None of this fucking shit is interesting. I finished the Comedy Store documentary, but the last episode was just kind of like, it felt like just like a little circle jerk chatting or whatever episode. It was fun, but I got some movies, but you know what? I can just save them for this week's podcast, considering I watched them this week. This episode is late, by the way, but I had the opportunity to sit down with my buddy Paul, and I wanted to make sure that, we'd be able to talk some shit on the podcast here and be entertaining for you guys. Really haven't done much this week, guys. I've been standing around at Costco doing the Nespresso thing. Ran some errands. Yeah, like that'll all be next week's shit. I was even coming home. It'd be like 7:00 in the morning doing the podcast or doing the work. Come home. I couldn't keep my eyes open by 6:00.
Yeah.
I get home at like 4:00 and I'm like, I'm toast. And I'd be like, I'll just have like a nap for an hour or two. Not even like I'd pass right out, wake up at like 3 a.m, up for 1 or 2 hours, fall asleep, back up at 6.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So I wasn't doing anything of note at all. Like I said, I watched Mandalorian and I watched a couple of movies, but I can't wait for this thing to fucking be over.
Yeah. Like, I watched a movie on the Netflix, as my dad would say.
The Netflix there?
Turn on the Netflix. It was Black Hat. It was a hacking movie with that
Hacking? Like slasher?
No, like computer hacking.
Oh, that
with
makes way more sense.
some guy some fucking guy. I don't know, but everybody loves him. He's one of those beautiful guys in Hollywood. I think he's originally Australian.
Are you talking about Chris Hemsworth?
Yes.
How did I know? He's a good-looking guy from Australia. Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson. It used to be if you said good-looking guy from Australia,
Yes.
Mel Gibson would probably be number one.
Yeah. Now it's
too
the
old
racist
now.
guy from Australia.
Yeah, you're that racist
Oh,
guy
yeah,
from
Mel Gibson.
Australia. Mel Gibson. Zafira?
And actually, I had a pretty good time. So if you got
What's it called?
Black Hat.
You just said. Yes.
Yeah. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Anything else you've seen as of late?
That is it as far as movies are concerned. I was on a ride with a series. What was I watching there? It was on the old. It's All or Nothing. Sports inside like a sports dressing room. So there's a series on Amazon Prime, and I think there's about 7 seasons. And if you like that sort of thing, they're brilliant. And it's not just there's football. There's football like European soccer. The All Blacks, and they go into their dressing room for a year. I mean, it's
They're called
brilliant.
the All Blacks?
Yeah, New Zealand All Blacks, the national rugby team.
Okay. Do they have black guys on the team?
Maoris. The Maoris are like the typical tough guys over there, and it's great. And that franchise is an absolute institution. So it's cool to see how they run things. It's So
Sweet. Okay.
It's a recommendation.
Well, and how about this for a fucking transition there? We got our DK book of the week, baby.
Woo!
Yeah, I was about to like throw it to thanks for being on the show. I'm like, we didn't even fucking review my sponsor's book.
Yeah.
Having too much fun. Guys, the book that I'm reviewing this week, the sports book, 5th edition from my partners at DK.com. It says the sports, the rules, the tactics, the techniques. So this book has just about every sport I've ever heard of in it. It's a cool reference book. It has the main, North American ones, but it's got like rugby. They've got all sorts of different types of like the Olympic Games, Athens, Stockholm, all sorts of different things regarding the sports and kind of where their origins are. But it's kind of cool because every page when you go to if you turn on, just for example, I whipped it open. I'm at kickboxing. There's sections that say like need to know, like just basic things about the sports. It shows you like stances and stuff like that. But every one of the sports will show you kind of in the middle of the page what the arena looks like. So if it's baseball, it shows you the diamond with a breakdown of kind of how the game is played. On kickboxing, it's showing you the ring and showing you like where 6, judges sit and spectators and things like that. Not to mention the ropes, it shows you the measurements of how big the field is. It's pretty cool. I mean, I could go on for a long time, but basically, like to me, this is like an encyclopedia of sports. And obviously, because it's DK, it's visual. But Paul, you had a sport that you're going to go see.
Yes, it is. And if it has it in this book, if it has this sport,
yeah,
I'll be thoroughly impressed. So there is a sport in Florence, Italy. Okay. It is the most violent sport on planet Earth. Okay. It's a combination of kickboxing and basically boxing and netball. You're trying to get a ball into a net across the field during a bloody gladiator war, and it lasts 1 hour.
So it's like boxing and lacrosse.
Yeah. Bare knuckle boxing, kickboxing.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And it's, and
so what happens if you're going to get past a guy, you have to fight him?
You fight.
Like a bridge troll?
Yeah.
You're like, I need to get to this net. And they're like, fight.
Answer me these questions 3.
What's it called?
Calcio. So CALCIO.
Okay, I'm going to the old bibliography here.
Yeah, and if it has it, it's amazing. They don't
Calcio, CAL?
CALCIO, Calcio Florentino.
What do you think the North American name for it would be if it existed?
I'm not too sure.
Hey Siri, what's Calcio Florentino in English?
I can't translate it to English yet.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's insane. Come on.
I'm gonna Google it and see if there's an English name for it. Was Calcio and CALCIO?
Yeah. And while you're doing that, so this sport, there's 4 teams in Florence. I watched a documentary. The combatants don't get paid to do it. You have to be born in that city, and it's just about different neighborhoods in Florence. And my brother-in-law is a professional rugby player, and one of his teammates is from Florence, and he plays in it. So we're going to go watch next year.
I'm frustrated that it's not in here.
Yeah, I would be surprised. I mean, it is a really bizarre...
Way to bring up a sport that's not in the book. Now the book seems like like it's trash.
Yeah. Come on, DK. What the?
Let's try Florentino. Maybe we'll find
Florentino. And it's bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre.
It said that there's rugby.
Rugby, sure.
It says it's a form of rugby or football. So I'm going to try rugby first and see if maybe maybe it gets an honorable mention in there or something.
Yeah. It's quite a bizarre scene. So we're going to get the first class treatment because we're in with one of the players.
Oh, rugby has a big fucking section here.
Oh, okay.
128.
128. But yeah, there's a documentary about this on Netflix, and if you're interested in, you should watch it. It is phenomenal.
What's it called?
Oh boy.
Australian football rules, rugby.
Strange sports or weird sports, it's called. So they go through a few of them. It's like an hour series. There's about 6 of them they go through.
Okay, that's positions by numbers. Game overview. Fuck, I really should have read every single page of this book, and then I'd be like, oh, maybe there's a section on, like, you know, Australian football.
Aussie rules.
Antipodean artistry.
Oh my God,
Bumps
they have
and marks.
And don't have
cricket.
Which I thought was
that
boring.
looks like frat boy, like hockey with this and that, and spanking each other with the paddles or whatever.
Such an elitist, ridiculous.
Is it really?
Oh my God, yeah. But I kind of got into it when living in the UK for that long. I was like, okay,
I didn't even understand it. Baseball, yeah, it's almost like I kept the thing. This is off the rails hard.
Well, that's all right. Well, DK, nice try, DK.
Yeah, nice try. Idiots.
But you introduced me to these books, and they are fabulous. They're really cool.
That's it. I'm canceling the fucking partnership right on this one.
Yeah.
Well, what about another sport? Do you have another one? Let's see if they're 3 strikes. We're gonna say 3 strikes are out. Do you have another fucking obscure sport?
Highlands.
Did I mention that earlier?
No, I don't think so.
Because highlands is the one that I was thinking of earlier.
Oh, really? Yeah.
That I know. They play it in Florida, right?
Yeah, and India. It's a big.
How is it spelled? J-A-I, right?
I thought it was an H. Maybe it's a soft J.
Oh, maybe it is H.
Highlands.
Heads up, heading, Hawkeye.
Here, I think I got it here. Oh no, it is a J. J-A-I.
Yeah, it's not in here either.
A-I.
Highlight is like a curved stick. It's like the fastest of ball moves in sports, if I'm not mistaken, because it's like those dog things with the curl on the end. It looks like a sickle that's plastic that heaves the ball, but they're like plastic or hard.
It's wooden. The ball's wooden.
Yeah, and it fucking hits you in the head, it'll kill you.
Yeah, there's deaths all the time.
That's the stupidest.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an unbelievable sport. So it looks like they're not going for the dangerous sports in this book.
Maybe not. Maybe the mothers.
How about
there's juji, jump ball, jump off. Jumping.
How about
jujitsu's in here? What?
Bocce or petanque?
Let's go bocce.
Bocce
and the saving grace, the one mulligan they get. If they don't have bocce, B-A-C-I?
B-O-C-C-I, I believe, bocce. It's Italian, or in France it's called petanque.
Okay, so B.
Oh, B-O-C-E. B-O-double-C-E. Bocce.
B-O. Nope.
Oh my God!
What's it called in France?
Petanque.
Okay, this is it.
P-A-T-O-N-K.
There's so many sports in here.
Oh, actually, in France it's P-E-T.
This is your last chance, DK.
I can't believe. Well, our
P-E-T-A-N-Q-U-E.
Yeah,
331. All right, you fucking. Ooh, you blew the fucking. We fired everything too long. Hold. Okay.
You and I need to start a podcast about obscure sports on the Ocho.
We'll run it. This episode is the human sacrifice, or they hunt human beings. Apparently it's illegal, so they can't put it in the book.
There's your liberals for you.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, 331. All right, let's see what it says about petanque.
A game I play frequently with my family.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Is it a blood sport?
No. It's an old man lawn bowling, basically. Is what it is. Yeah.
So petanque game overview, dude. It's literally like the lawn bowling one. They've got the glad guy playing.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
a white suit.
It's me as a baby.
He's got a fucking cardigan on in the picture. A cardigan, a button-up shirt, and a tie for lawn bowling.
Oh, you got to look sharp.
Oh, hold up. Hold up, guys. We're going to pause real quick. My mani-pedi appointment is calling. All right. We're not doing the mani-pedi, guys. In case anyone was like, this fucking soft, this tenderfoot. Is that a gay thing, tenderfoot? Was that a derogatory gay
Tenderfoot?
term?
I've never heard that before. Tenderfoot.
Yeah. Hey, Siri, what's a tenderfoot?
Tenderfoot is a Canadian short dramatic dance film directed
No,
by
that's
Roger
not.
Byrne.
Oh, great movie.
All right, we're going to have to Urban Dictionary this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a movie. Yeah, I don't care about that. I'll just throw something out, and then the next 10 minutes is me looking shit up. Tenderfoot meaning. Please be the ender. Yeah. Okay.
Tenderfoot.
Oh, that's just. I thought I was going to read it to me. It just said tenderfoot.
Tenderfoot.
Ooh, enderfoot. Okay. A newcomer or novice, especially a person unaccustomed to the hardships of pioneer life.
Oh, a greenhorn.
Number 2, and it says it's dated. A Boy Scout of the lowest rank. Whoa. Okay. Is there an Urban Dictionary?
I like to look at that tenderfoot over there.
An inexperienced beginner and novice. Yeah. Okay. Well, I just thought tender and feet because of the thing. Urban Dictionary. Here we go. That's where we get it. American slang dating back to the time of the Old West. It was used by people who were established in frontier towns to describe someone new, either to the area or the prevailing conditions. Someone lacking experience and was perhaps a little naive, mildly disparaging, but without any real malice. It is still used to occasionally describe someone who is just starting out on their chosen career. Yeah, that's weird. For Urban Dictionary, there was no shit or cum in that definition.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
They're cleaning up their act. They're going corporate.
They're going corporate. Okay, so petanque. The game overview. Petanque is a form of boules. All right, something else to look up. Where the goal is to throw metal balls as close as possible to a small wooden ball called a cochonnet.
Mm-hmm.
Was that pronounced properly?
Yeah, sure. Let's go with it.
What would you call it?
I forget what the boys say. Yeah, that seems about right.
Oh, did I put my cell phone too close to the fucking recorder? We're starting to get some buzz in there.
Yeah.
Or piglet, they say. The game is normally played on hard dirt or gravel, but can also be played on grass or other surfaces.
Mm-hmm. And in my little village in France, there is a court. So you go down to the court, and usually it's busy, so you got to wait your turn or find another area of it, and you play. And
15
the old
meters
people,
by 4 meters?
Yeah, and they always cheat. The old men always cheat. You got to keep your eye on them.
That's it. It gets 1 page, not even a 2-page spread. You got lawn bowling gets a page, petanque.
I'm surprised it's in there. That's great.
Yeah. It's shocking to me. And it's got all the rules and player profiles, pointing and shooting, rolling in, rolling for a hit, all that stuff, lobbing.
Yeah.
They're all different ones here.
Backspin lob. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. So there you go. If 25% of the sports that you want to look up are your thing, then this is the book for you. But I'm still going to keep it as a reference. And every now and again, I can't wait for the 6th edition. I got 3 suggestions for it. It is a great book, guys. Just Paul fucked it up. So no more guest reviews. The sports book, 5th edition, fully revised and updated, although I disagree with that definition. The sports, the rules, the tactics, the techniques. Woo-woo. From my partners at DK Books, guys, dk.com in the States. Add a /CA at the end for my Canadian listeners, or just Google DK Books anywhere internationally, and you'll find cool books like this. Paul, my guest here today, has a podcast, the Microdose podcast, that he hosts, Paul Myrehaug, and his co-host, Damon Schroeder. Damon. I'm used to the old way people said it, the pretentious way. No, it's just Damon Schroeder and Paul Myrehaug, the Microdose podcast. What can you tell us about that, just in terms of what it's about?
It's exciting times because we just joined. Yesterday was the release date. We joined a podcast network called Comedy Here Often, which is from the west coast of Canada. It is a collaboration of 604 Records, which is actually Carly Rae Jepsen, Call Me Maybe, and Nickelback, that's their production house. So they started a podcast label. I think there's 19 podcasts on it, and we're one of them. So that's exciting. I don't know what it means, but hey, there we go. Chad Kroeger money, baby. So check out Comedy Here Often, and they got a lot of great stuff out there. Our podcast is we're 2 stand-up comics. We do not talk about stand-up comedy. It's just basically A little bit of us catching up what's going on in our lives, and then we do a game called Trending Shrid, which Damon is a Buddhist, so he tries to keep his mind clear of any media or any and I burst his Buddhist bubble, and I tell him what's going on in the world.
When we were in Kingston together, I was telling you I got an email to return my Miss Vicky's chips that I had purchased because there's glass, and you're like, oh yeah, that was the thing we just talked about on the podcast. I found that, and
yeah. So that's basically it, and yeah, I appreciate you onesies giving us a shot over there.
Yeah, take a listen.
Yeah,
Paul's great. Also, this is your last chance to see him in Canada for a little bit, right?
No, that's false. Well, unless you live in the West, I do have a couple of dates out there.
Okay, before you head home?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Well, then I'm going to plug the ones that I'm aware of here. You're at Absolute Comedy. This is going to be coming out. So anyone who has a chance to actually listen to this today when it comes out and get their shit together by 8 p.m. can see him today. But there's one last show on Saturday. So if you do listen to this, I'm gonna suck your cock a little bit here, Paul. Paul's fantastic. He's one of my favorites to watch. Great dude. In this business, it's always so huge and makes me happy when there's a good dude who's also super funny. Not a lot of them. I can count on, my hands and feet how many guys in this business who are like legitimately good dudes and then just the funniest human beings. But Paul makes that list for me. So if you're in the Ottawa area and you've heard this in time, do yourself a favor. Go see Paul. He'll be back. Or maybe not. Maybe he'll go back to France and everyone will have COVID, and that's the end of it.
And that's it. We're all dead.
But
I come through about once every couple of years to Ottawa and stuff. And also, I think we were supposed to do the theater here in Ottawa. Help me out.
The Centrepoint Theater.
Centrepoint Theater. And if you had tickets for that, it was me, Deborah DiGiovanni, Pete Zedlacker, and Dan Quinn with the Snowden Comedy Tour. That would have been
a monster show.
Yeah, and we had a lot of tickets sold, and unfortunately we had to cancel it because of COVID. But it is being rebooked, so I hope to see you all with the Snowden Comedy Tour as well, coming back when we figure out our shit.
Sweet.
Here.
Well, that'll give us an opportunity to see if I like sushi better by that point.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll bug you. I'm sure it'll be like a 1 day in, 1 day out kind of thing.
Yeah, I think just here for one night, and then we move on to Kingston or whatever the hell it is. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what time you get here. Maybe you might not have time for a visit, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Cool, buddy. What about the West dates? Do you have those currently? Do you want to share them?
Sure. Yeah. The first week I don't know the specifics. The first week in December, I will be at the House of Comedy, which is in the Burr Theatre. In Vancouver, British Columbia. The second week in December, we'll be at the Laugh Shop in Calgary, Alberta.
Okay. I've got some Alberta listeners, so
great.
I would really love for you guys to do that.
Right. And the third week in December would be the Rumors Comedy Club in Winnipeg. And then,
why are you cringing, Paul?
Yeah, just trying to remember. Rumors is a fantastic club, and I was cringing because it's on a lockdown right now. So this is the third date that we've tried to move it to, and I'm staying bonus time in Canada to try to fit all this in. But and then New Year's Eve that week, I'll be at the comic strip in Edmonton. At the West Edmonton Mall, and then that's it. I'm gonna go back home and retire until things are figured out.
Cool, buddy. Well, listen, dude, this was so much fun. It always is to sit and chat. Appreciate your time.
Yes,
thanks
and
for doing this with
you're
me.
a lovely human being.
Oh,
I love
me.
spending time with you, my friend.
What a sweetie pie.
And thanks. Very funny man. Unbelievable stage presence. Good podcast. Keep on listening.
Yeah, if you guys know anything about this podcast, if he's equating my stage presence to the podcast, you know what you're not missing when it comes to my shows. Contact at onemanpodcast.com. You guys know, send me any emails, anything like that. I did want to read, I almost forgot to do this. I just wanted to read a quick little email. This is from one of my listeners. And of course, I haven't put that email address on my phone since I re-updated it, so I'm not going to be able to pull that email up. Yeah. But my buddy Brent out in Alberta, Brent was just like, man, your last episode where he's like, you were on fire. It was great. I was like, oh, I was angry. I was angry about the stupidity of people who just can't admit when something's not perfect. Nothing is perfect. There's even a quote about love that I like, which is like, love is not finding the perfect person. It's seeing someone's imperfections perfectly. So even that, even when you love someone. So that's the thing. These people love Trump more than they love the love of their life. Because even that has imperfections, but not this guy. There's nothing wrong with me. Nothing wrong with me whatsoever. Even my jowls are perfect. See that Chris Hemsworth cocksucker? He's no Trump. So, anyways. Thanks, onesies. I will chat with you guys again soon.